Hi, and it's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's! So, all about the love. Most of our T-shirts that we have at Blissworks, I didn't wear one today, but we're very much love-oriented. Love more, love your life, and how. What is love anyway? What's love got to do with it? It pretty much everything. And in Sanskrit, the word love translated, there's actually many words for love in Sanskrit, but the one I like the highest love, the most supreme love is prema, Prema, prema. And aham means that which is, aham, I am that, aham. So we're going to start with a mantra today in your seat. So if you're not comfortably seated already, please do. And find, we're going to go into Hiridaya Mudra. Hiridaya Mudra is your left hand goes onto your heart and the right hand on top of it. Close your eyes. So if you feel comfortable to do so, I suggest saying this mantra aloud, and I'll just start saying it and you can join in. If you want to say it silently, that's your choice. Aham prema. 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 Three more. Aham prema. Aham prema. Aham prema. Hold your hands there and breathe and feel. See if you feel any difference. Find your palms to meet in Anjali Mudra. And as you wish, join me in one Om. Deep breath in. Namaste. You may release your hands and open your eyes. And starting today in standing, we're going to warm up the body doing some sun salutations. So sometimes I think of the sun as the source of light, the source of love, right? A love that's fueling through the universe. It's sent to our planet through light. Breath, come, bring your palms to meet, standing at the front edge of your mat so you have room to move back. Breathe in and stretch your arms wide and high. Look up and exhale. Take it to the floor, exhaling all the way down. Breathe into a half bend and then fold back down again. Reverse your swan dive, palms meet, and then go right into another swan dive. as you exhale. Breathe in and look forward. Breathe out and look within. Inhale to the top. All the love we're looking for, it's from the inside, all the way down again. We think we're looking outside ourselves, but really the only source is inside. Stay down this time and step your right leg back into a lunge. If you can, frame your front ankle with your fingertips on either side. Lift your back thigh up, right? Especially the inner right thigh up to the ceiling. The inner right thigh lifts so your right hip will drop a little bit. But sink deeper into your front leg. Sink deeper. Lift the back thigh up, but sink the front thigh down. See if you can do both of those simultaneously. And step to the front. Lift to a half forward bend. Exhale and fold. Step your left leg back. You can always modify by dropping your back knee. On this side, lift the toes of your front foot up and drag your 2 feet together. And when you pull your legs in, feel how that squares your hips. Your right hip will automatically drop back and the left hip slightly forward. Then from your pelvis, push your legs longer. Push out through the center, up through your spine. Step to the front and halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Step both feet back this time into your plank pose. So we're going to try 8-limbed pose. Right now we're in 4-limbed pose. So we need 4 more limbs on the floor. Drop your knees, that's 2. Chin and chest are 2 more. Drop chin and chest right between your hands. So your elbows stay up, chin and chest down in 8-limbed pose. Now squeeze your hands together, slide onto your abdomen, point through your toes, and come into a cobra. Stay down, but lower your chest to the floor again. Draw your shoulder blades onto your back, push into your arms, and lift into a cobra. Exhale, pull yourself down. We're going to stay here. Squeeze your hands together as you rise. Shoulders back, heart open. Exhale, release. Tuck through your toes and lift your hips into downward facing dog. Walk your heels in place. Maybe you don't have to, you can do a rapid walk or slow one where you're leaning one way and holding the stretch a little longer. You could also keep your legs straight and just lean your hips a little bit side to side and see if that changes it for you. So prema, aham prema. Let's just remember that mantra as we move through the practice. It's aligning ourselves with the highest love in the universe. I am that, aham prema. When we finished the mantra, I felt expansive. That would be the word I'd use to share how I felt inside. Really vast. And that's what that mantras are powerful. When we speak them out loud, especially powerful. Shift your weight forward into 4-limbed pose in your plank. Drop your knees. Try to lower slowly. Think of this like a lowering into a push-up. Bend your elbows back to your sides, hips up. Your hips don't come down, otherwise that would be another limb. Chin and chest only. Squeeze your hands together as you glide onto your belly and lift up. So this time, hold in cobra, but hover your hands up away from the floor. Hold and breathe. Make sure you're breathing. And then keep your hands up, but one at a time. Roll one shoulder up and onto your back. Hold it there. Hover your hands and circle the other one back. Circle one shoulder up and back. Hold it there. Circle the other. Try it one more time. Circle, hold, circle, hold. Place your hands down and only lift as much as you can by squeezing your hands together. Squeeze your elbows in, right? Elbows squeeze in. Draw your shoulders back. We're going to hold at a place you can breathe and visualize the space between your 2 shoulder blades. melting forward. So the upper back is the tightest part of the back. We need to learn how to soften between your shoulder blades. One more breath here. Try to drag your hands back towards your waist. See how that draws your shoulders forward and melt the heart. Tuck your toes. You can lower to the floor first or right in from Cobra into Downward Dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. We're going to move from here, raising your right leg up into three-legged dog. Bend the knee, pull the knee into your chest as you come forward to plank and step your foot up to your hands. Push through your back heel as your back knee lands. So you get length through your front of your quad and push into your legs as you rise. Raise your arms up. Turn both palms face forward and then bring your wrists about 45 degrees forward from your shoulders so they're at an angle. Pull from your fingertips all the way up to your underarms and plug your shoulders more onto your back. Then lean your head back a little bit and raise your arms back up so they're in line with your ears. You can look up if you have balance. Sink deeper into your front knee, into your hip, and reach your fingertips up and away as you lean back to open the throat. And then slow motion, very mindfully release the pose. Place your hands down, raise your back knee, and maybe fly the right leg to the ceiling. Alternately, you can transition to table pose and try that from the other side. Downward facing dog, left leg lifts. Way up high as you can go. And now squeeze the knee into your chest as tight as it can go. Plank. And then using abdominals, help step that foot up. Make your adjustments. Push through your heel as your back knee lands. You can pad the knee by doubling up your mat. Raise your arms up and overhead. We're going to try the same thing again. First, your wrists forward from your shoulders. Then pull your armpits back. Lean your ears back so you're not crunching the back of your neck, but as you raise your arms back up, your upper arms in line with your ears, you're actually leaning back into your shoulder blades. Sink your hips down to the floor, and as you push into your legs, reach up and lengthen through your spine. Release slowly, touch your hands down, raise your right knee, and fly a three-legged dog or back into table pose as you land. Take down dog or table or child, and for 3 breaths. Come on to your knees. Keep your knees where they are, close. Untuck your toes and press your hips toward your heels. Don't move your hands though. Don't let your hands slide back. Only bring your hips back as far as you can with straight elbows. Push into your arms and stretch your hips more back. So the next one is called rolling a marble with your nose along the floor. Try to get your nose close to the floor and roll forward through your hands. Lift your elbows as your chest comes through, like an 8-limb pose, but not, and glide up into a cobra. Push into your hands and bring your hips back to your heels without moving your hands the whole time, right? The hands don't slide back with you. Keep them forward, roll slowly. And we're undulating the spine. It might feel awkward. Go with it anyway. Child pose, roll back. Don't move your hands back though. Keep them straight. Glide slowly through the center. Lift up into a cobra. And back into a downward facing dog. So in this method of yoga, we talk about getting expansive, going to the highest first. Start from that place. When you remember your breath, expand out to all possibilities. Anything can happen. Take plank pose again. This time we're going to hold here. Armpits back, shoulder blades on your back. Feel your hands squeeze together, your upper arms squeeze together, your shoulder blades squeeze together. Draw in at your abdomen. And if you want more, raise your right foot a few inches up. Keep breathing. Soften between your shoulder blades, even here. It's a real test. Lower your right leg and lift up the left. Keep breathing. Strong core. Squeeze your arms together. And release. Lower any way you go down. You can do full Chaturanga. Everybody onto your belly, though. And extend your arms back at your sides. Palms face down. Raise your arms up. Palms face down. Roll one shoulder at a time up onto your back. And now raise both legs. Raise your thighs up. Squeeze your feet towards one another, but they don't really touch. And see if you can breathe here. The natural breath should lift your upper body on the in-breath, and then you can try to lift your heels on the exhale, like a rocking horse. One more round of breath. And release. Come onto your belly. Make a pillow with your arms and turn your toes in, heels out. And then feel a release rolling all the way up your legs to your hips. Even your sacrum at your low back might feel more spacious here. Soften your eyes. I wrote down some Rumi quotes on love today. Love isn't the work of the tender and the gentle. Love is the work of wrestlers. The one who becomes a servant of lovers is really a fortunate sovereign. Don't ask anyone about love. Ask love about love. Love is a cloud that scatters pearls. Raise your arms forward in front of you on the floor. Turn your palms face in. And as you look down the length of your arm, the side of your wrist should be as wide as the outside of your shoulder. Make sure that's the case on each side. Eyeball it side to side. Make your wrist that wide. And then press the side of your right hand into the floor to lift your right elbow. And slide that hand back a few inches with the elbow lifted. Karate chop the left hand to lift the elbow and let it meet up with your right. So keep your arms straight so your forearms are away from the floor. And now between your shoulder blades, you might find a place to melt down between the shoulder blades. Push into the side of your hand and one at a time. Slide them back a little bit at a time. Keep your elbows straight. Push into the floor. Go a little bit higher and soften your upper back. And do that again. Slide your hands back. Just try it out. Slide your hands back a little bit each side, straight arms, and then melt your upper back. Wiggle forward from your waist as you come back down, all the way down onto your arms again. Turn your head to the side. Turn your toes in. I may have forgotten to tell you to straighten them back before, but turn them in now. And feel the legs relax, feel your abdomen relax. Let the floor hold you, and also feel the remnants of that back bend, right? So if you have scrunchy stuff going on in your low back, if it feels tender, one, you should do less. Try not to work so hard, do a little less. And two, you have to get the idea of where your tailbone is, right above your bum crack is the tailbone, and that has to pull down toward your heels, and that's going to give you length through your low back so you don't over crunch it. But before we go any further, just lay here, but push your knees into the floor so much that your hips begin to rise. Push your kneecaps down and see if your hips are going to inchworm their way up. That's what we want. We want the groins to lift up away from the floor. Feel that really severe low back curve when you go to your full extreme. Feel that. And now imagine where your tailbone is. You're going to aim the tailbone toward your heels. And that's just going to lengthen your low back a bit. Lower your hips back down. Try to maintain that action. Tops of your feet on the floor. Arms back at your sides again. Raise your arms, lift your head and chest. Keep your neck in line with your spine. So if your chin's too far forward, you're going to be crunching the back of your neck. Drop your gaze down and keep the length in the back of the neck. Raise your legs up and interlace your hands behind your back. Push your knuckles towards your heels to lift up even a little bit higher. And now raise your right heel up to the ceiling. Lift the leg up and see if you can use that as momentum to roll left. Roll over onto your left side and kick your right heel back behind you, still with a straight leg. Take your top shoulder and roll it onto your back. Lean your ears back more. Open your throat. And then keep that openness as you take it onto your belly again. Keep everything back as you come down, belly, raise the left leg up, rock off to your right side with your right shoulder tucked under, curl your top shoulder back more, ears back, pressure knuckles back, pressure heel back. Big back bend here, the side back bend. And then back to center. Lift everything up. Keep the shoulders on your back, lift up, center. And lower back down again. Find your pose in resting on your belly. Try the toes in and heels out. If that worked for you before, soften your legs. So the word lovers isn't just for intimate partners, lovers of life, real engagers. This is another Rumi quote. Lovers find secret places inside this violent world where they make transactions with beauty. Lovers find secret places inside this violent world where they make transactions with beauty. Slide your hands under your shoulders and move to a child pose of your choice. You can have your knees together like we did earlier, or you can have your knees wide apart. You can rest your forehead to the mat or stack fist on fist and let your forehead rest on your top fist. Close your eyes and try silently repeating aham prema, aham prema, aham prema. Release and stand onto your knees now. So you're standing up on your knees. You can pad them if you need to because we are going to move into a lunge from here. Have your hands to your hips and tuck your back toes under just to create a little more stability for yourself. Your right foot, you're going to take a big old giant step forward with your right foot. So once you establish yourself here, make sure your back thigh is at an angle. So look back. If your knee's right under your hip, you have to make sure your front leg goes a little bit more forward. Facing to the front, interlace your hands behind your head. Line your front knee over your ankle so your hips even go deeper into the floor. Bring your elbows towards one another and then down to the floor. Feel how that flattens the back of your neck? Keep your elbows pulling down, but lift your chin up so that your back of your neck is not flat. It has a nice natural curve. And here, as you pull your hands forward into your head, push your head back into your hands. Lean back. Your hands are pulling forward into your head, and your head is pushing back into your hands to initiate more back bend. You can keep your hands where they are, or last breath, straighten your arms, palms face in, spread your fingers nice and wide. And release, lower your hands down. Bring your hands to your hips. And maybe you can step your right leg back, standing on your knees again. Try the other side. It's a bigger step forward than you want to. So if you take a small step, you might have to walk your foot more forward. Deeply bend your knee so your knee ends up over your ankle. So I'm not there to see you. You have to look. Make your alignment. This time with hands to your hips, manually pull your left hip back more and the right hip more forward. And now hands on your hips. Push your hips down and see if you can lift up through along your sides, elbows, and shoulders back. Find your hands behind your head again. So the reason we bring the elbows in and down is to plug the shoulder blades onto the back. Feel when your armpits hollow, the shoulders pull back, but it also flattens your neck. So you have to lift the chin up, keep your curve in your neck, and lean open. Sink deeper into your front knee, push into your legs, lift through your sides, and look up. Stay with your hands supporting your head, or open your arms, palms face in. Aham Prema. Release your hands all the way down. And step your back foot to the front this time, standing forward bend. Grab your elbows or fold your arms as they hang. Drop your head so your ears are in line with your arm bones. And then do 3 deep breaths here, exhaling through your mouth. Release your arms and push the floor away as you rise. Sweep your arms overhead, palms meet, and lower your hands to heart center where you close your eyes. That was one long vinyasa to bring us back here again. Release your hands and open your eyes. So next we're going to practice a quadricep stretch, standing quadricep stretch. Standing from mountain pose, fix your gaze at Adrisi ahead and lean to your left leg. So I'm going to lead this a little differently than maybe you've done it before, so you can join me, or if you know how to do it, go for it. Raise your right knee up and bring your right hand out onto your right kneecap. So from holding the knee, then slide your hand down the front of your shin so you're holding the front of your ankle, and pull the foot back behind you with the toes, with the bent knee pointing straight down from your hip. So that's just one way to get hold of your foot. Bend your back elbow to pull the heel in toward your bum, and take your creases of your thighs back. That creates low back curve. Aim your tailbone toward your heels and push your bent knee straight down. Your left arm can go straight up. Hug your shoulder blade onto your back. Lengthen the bones of your arms and reach out through every finger. Release this side, lower your leg, and take a breath in mountain pose. Other side, eyes still soft. Make sure your gaze is soft. That's important. Relax around your eyes. Bend your knee in front. Hold the knee, and then from the outside, slide down the front of your shin till you get to the top of your foot. Pull the knee behind you so that the bent knee is straight down from your hip. This time, if you have your balance, try bending your standing leg a little bit and then sticking your hips back. Stick your bum back. Scoop the tail and push your standing leg straighter. Maybe raise your right arm straight up from your shoulder. Plug your shoulder on your back. Feel the hollowness of your armpit draw down, but lengthen the bones of your arm and out through your fingertips. And release. Good. Next is dancer, not Tarajana. It's the dancer of life. So in this one, I rotate the palm out so the thumb is back. Hitchhiker pose. Lean to your left leg to begin. And bend your right knee. So you can go the same way and grab the knee first, or if you're able, bend the knee behind and grab for the instep of your foot. Have your knees side by side. So there's a tendency this right leg tends to splay out to the right. Keep it straight down, and you're going to track the knee straight back as you go deeper. Extend your left arm. And what we've been doing today, we're integrating ourselves, aham prema. Integrate your shoulder blade onto your back once you're established, and kick your back foot into your hand to go a little deeper. Pull back on the left side to keep your shoulders even. So often in this pose, the left shoulder will wing off the back and you're turned at diagonal. Try to keep your shoulders square. Kick your foot into your hand. Plug your left shoulder onto your back. And the action is to kick the foot back as far as it'll go back, and then eventually the foot will lift up from there, go even higher. Don't worry about falling out. We're all going to fall in life. You're going to fall with grace and ease. Plug on the left side. And release, come back to center. Release your foot. Stand in mountain pose and take a breath. So that's a back bend too, right? We're doing this big arc in the spine. Remember the tailbone. If you're squishy on your low back, you have to learn how to lengthen the tailbone down to balance the pose. Try the other leg. Again, knee can come forward. You can hold the outside of the foot like we did earlier, or go for the instep. Knees side by side, open your right arm, and right away, take a deep breath, pull your right shoulder onto your back. Keep your shoulders even as you kick your foot into your hand. Pause, knee in, heart soft, kick a little deeper. You don't have to go deeper and deeper. You can stay in one place a few breaths. Push into your standing leg, kick the foot back. Realign your back knee. Notice it tends to sway out to the side. Pull it back to the middle and track that knee straight back. Eventually, toes come higher up toward the ceiling. Release slowly. Unwind and back into mountain pose, arms at your sides. Good. Then stepping forward again to the front of your mat space, palms meet together in front of your heart. Close your eyes another moment here, just standing, breathing, and if you wish, silently, aham prema. Aham prema. Aham prema. That's what we're made of, this divine stuff. The highest energies of the universe. That's what's flowing through us. It's just up to us to recognize that. Open your eyes and open your arms. Lift up. Try a little back bend as you lean open. And then stretch your arms wide forward. Fold all the way to the floor. Lengthen the spine. Halfway up, breathe in. Exhale and fold back down. Take your right leg back into a lunge. But this time you're going to pivot your heel down and check out your back foot. See that your toes are pointing to the right front corner of your mat. Line your left knee over your left ankle. Square your hips to the front and push into your legs as you raise your arms up and overhead. Interlace behind your head. Elbows in and down, chin up. Press your hands forward into your head and your head back into your hands. Lean back. Keep bending into your front knee as you lift your heart, curling open. Stay here or open your elbows, palms face in. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step forward. Breathe in and lengthen up. Breathe out and fold. Arms go wide. Lean back. Try to back bend here. And reach your heart forward again on a swan dive, all the way to the floor. Pull yourself forward, look up, and fold and exhale. Left leg back. Then drop your back, step the back foot in so your heel comes down and your toes point to the front left corner. Make sure your back heel is down as you rise up. With the back heel down, you'll be more stable. Raise your arms up and overhead. And this time, try your elbows bent, like cactus arms. Wag your elbows forward and see if you can feel that pull your shoulder blades more onto your back. Pull the shoulder blades together as you open the arms straighter. You can go to a V or you can straighten them right up overhead. Keep your front knee bent and push into your legs. Push the floor away. See if you can reach up, lengthen, and lean back. Lean forward all the way down. Halfway lift as you step forward. Full exhale. Rise to stand, open your heart, lean open, and swan dive. Forward fold. Halfway lift, and bow. 2 feet back in plank pose. Lower knees, chest and chin, 8-limbed pose. Come forward into a cobra, and back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet 1 foot distance forward. You can keep your knees bent, that's fine. Put your weight into your left arm and lighten up on your right fingertips. If you can do that, try crossing your right arm to the outside of your left leg, your left knee or calf, and then peek up underneath your left arm. Push into your left arm down through your heels and bend your right elbow to turn, peek up underneath your left arm. And then switch. Place your right hand down, take a breath. Shift your weight as you lighten up on your left fingertips first. And then optional is to take the turn, peeking up underneath your arm. Push your heels back, especially your right hip crease pulls back, your right arm pushing forward. And release. Walk your feet back a step if you have them forward. And shift into a plank pose. Drop your knees. Untuck your toes and push your hips toward your heels. Don't move your hands back though. Go back as far as you can toward a child's pose. And then not moving the hands, glide yourself forward. Roll the marble with your nose. Glide onto your belly into a cobra. And then lower your torso down, lying flat on your stomach. Bend your knees and try reaching back for the outside edge of your feet. So if that's not accessible to you, hopefully you have a tie or something to wrap around the backs of your feet. Walk your knees together if you're holding on to your feet. And you're just going to lift the right leg. So kick your right foot out into your hands or into the tie and see if you can lift the right knee and the right thigh up. Squeeze that knee into center. Don't let it splay out to the side. If it splays out to the side, that helps crunch your low back. Lower the knee down and try just the left side. Kick your left foot. Lift your left knee. Lift your left thigh. Try to lift the leg up by kicking it away from you. and down. First side again. Push your right foot into your hand, lift the thigh, and try rolling over to your left side here. Like we did earlier with the straight legs. This time you're more bound. Kick your foot into your hand, roll your top shoulder back, open your throat back. And then keep some semblance of that opening as you release onto your abdomen and go to the left side. Lift the left, kick, lean to the right, lean your ears back, kick the top leg, curl your top shoulder back, open your throat. And then last time onto your belly, kick both feet, lift both thighs, squeeze your knees in, look up. And all the way down. Release onto your abdomen, make a pillow with your arms, turn your toes in and your heels out, and take some resting breaths. Another Rumi quote. Your task is not to seek for love, but to merely seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. Slide your hands under your shoulders and very gingerly try a wide-legged child's pose this time. So your knees are apart, toes together. Use your hands, move mindfully. Really did a lot of back bending today. You can rest your head down or fist on fist. Go back to the mantra, Aham Prema. Just try it out. Release your pose, walk up onto your hands and knees, and then come around to sit. And you're going to sit facing the long edge of your mat. So turn out to the side and open your feet wide for Upavista Konasana. So we've done a lot with our back today, especially the space between the shoulder blades. We call that the back of the heart. So we're going to do a little bit with the hips. So in this, if you're in yin class, they'd say relax your feet and relax your legs totally. In this method, we engage the legs, we flex the feet, and even try to spread the toes. Make sure your heels stay down. Heels off the floor here would mean you're locking your knees. Place your right hand next to your right hip and raise your left arm up. I'm going to take a side stretch here, leaning off to your right side. Press your right hand into the floor and see if you feel like grounding your opposite hip and leg down more. As you push the bottom hand into the floor, ground your side body. Ground the hip and leg, and then lengthen your side body. Stretch your left arm even further up and away. And this is the QL, Quadratus Labornum. If you bow your chin forward here, look down, bring your top arm forward a little bit. So you're turning your torso toward your front leg a bit. You'll feel that real lengthening along the back, low back. Come back to your vertical side stretching, lengthen along your side body and reach over to lean, push into the floor to help lift yourself through center, and then tip to the other side. Lift up and move into your arc. So here, engage your legs again. Try squeezing your two heels together. If your knees are very bent, you can bring your feet closer together. They don't have to be so wide apart. Push your hands, bottom hand into the floor, ground your right hip, and reach and lengthen up and away from there. Bend your bottom elbow to arc in deeper. And now you're leading with your top arm, actually. Pull the arm forward, turn your gaze, your chin down. The top shoulder spins more down, but still getting that lengthening, reaching and lengthening along the low back area. Breathe. Lean the top arm back again. You might even peek up underneath that arm. And then push into the floor to lift back up again. This time, right palm turns face up on the floor inside your front leg. So the right arm inside the right leg. Left arm to the ceiling. This time, do it in increments. So you're going to slide off to the side, take a breath, push into the floor, lengthen, and exhale and lean. So your arm is sliding down the inside of the leg. Maybe your elbow can come inside the leg, but it doesn't have to be. If you do, whether it's your hand, your wrist, your elbow, try pushing your arm into your leg and push your leg back into your arm and see if that can help turn you to look up underneath your extended arm. If it's hard to breathe, try doing a little less. Come out an inch and see if it's better where you can hang out and really feel the stretch. And now push the floor away. Raise yourself up to center. And then same idea, turn your palm face up inside your front thigh. Raise your right arm, and lean left. As you slide over, you're going a little bit each time. Find the action of your leg and arm pressing into one another. It's subtle. It doesn't have to be a powerful move. Lean and reach along the side of your body. Again, check in with your breath. So when I say push into the floor, push into your sitting bones, push into your legs, push into your heels, and lift your way back up again. Now turn your torso to face towards your right leg with your hands on either side. Your hands can also be on blocks. Push your fingertips into the floor, into blocks, and turn your belly more toward that extended leg. And then lean forward, bend your elbows, shoulders hug together on your back. Walk the hands out a little bit further, or you stay where you are. You can have straight arms. You can bend your elbows, draw your shoulders together on your back, and even here, consider melting beneath your shoulder blades, in between the two shoulder blades. Push into the floor to turn your belly and your chest. Root to rise. Push into your foundation to lift your upper body, and then you're going to rotate to the other side. Frame the other leg with your two hands and push your hands, your fingertips into the floor. That'll help lift up your spine. Turn your belly and chest toward the leg and then lean over. Check in with your feet. Are your second toes up to the ceiling? Second toes straight up. Spread your pinky. Push your hands into the floor. Find the subtle. You don't want to force the body. Everything's linked into your long, deep breaths. So if all you're doing here is really practicing some lengthy exhales, do that. Everything comes in its own time. Breath by breath, you soften, lean over, draw your shoulder blades onto your back, and space between your shoulder blades melts. Push down to lift up, come back, place one hand behind each knee, bend your knees, and soles of the feet together. Hold the front of your ankles or your shins, sit up with straight elbows, and almost lean back a bit, lean your ears back. Take in a breath, press your feet together, and widen your knees apart. So the inhale pushes your feet in, the exhale pulls your knees out. If you want to go deeper, hinge from your hips, bend your elbows, and draw your torso forward, first with a straight spine. You hinge as far as you can forward with a straight spine, and then eventually you can round your back here, bow your chin into your chest. So although I often say shoulder blades on your back, that's to support you in a back bend. And here you can really let the shoulders wing off your back. Feel a stretch the other way. All those rhomboid muscles that you've been engaging between the two shoulder blades, here they're widening apart, really stretching off of your back as your chin tucks into your chest. And then release, draw in at your navel as you rise back up. Pull your knees together and face over to the long edge of your mat so your feet can face to the front, and take Navasana, the balancing boat pose. So you can hold behind your thighs or you can extend your arms. You can keep your knees bent or you can straighten your legs. Take your breath in Ujjayi breath. See if you can remember the mantra here. This is a good place. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Aham Prema. Try lowering as slow as you possibly can, all the way onto your back. And relax a moment once you get there. Bend your knees and place your feet flat onto the floor. Bring your right knee into your chest and squeeze the knee toward your right armpit, toward the outside of your right arm. Step the arch of your right foot right on top of your knee. So you're standing on your left knee. Let your right arm come out to the right side like a T, and keep your left hand on your right knee to guide both legs to the left. So you're standing on your knee, drop both legs left, and turn your gaze out toward the right. One more deep breath this side. Raise your legs by lifting your left knee. The right should go on for the ride. And now stack your right knee tightly over your left. So your knees are stacked, knee on knee, right knee's on top. Drop knees to the right side now. And you can adjust by walking your left foot more left if you wish. And even deeper stretch is to reach your left arm overhead on the floor and reach away from your left knee. So that which we put our attention on, we become. That which we hold in our awareness is who we are. So really focusing on the best, the highest, the solution that you want to see. Hold your attention there. Lift your knees together back to middle and place your right foot back onto the floor. Pull your left knee into your chest, interlace in front of your knee or your shin, and pull the knee to the outside of your chest toward the left. Hold and breathe. Notice your breathing pattern here. And invite in the silent mantra. Step lightly onto your right knee. Have the arch of your left foot line up with your kneecap and guide your knees to the right side. Open your left arm out to the left. And see where you want your chin to go. From neutral, you can roll your chin right or left. Aham Prema. Lift your knees by lifting your right knee up. Stack your left knee tightly over your right knee and continue dropping to the left side now. Knees to the left. You might walk your bottom foot more to the right to create more space, and maybe your right arm overhead to lengthen and stretch along your whole right side. Bring your knees to center, unwind, and pull your knees in side by side. So unwind the legs and draw your knees into your chest here. Raise your legs up to the ceiling so they're vertical, straight over your hip creases. Maybe you need to sit on your hands if this is really hard on your back. Bring your palms down, touch your index and thumbs together underneath your sacrum. Just kind of rock side to side till you get there. Try raising your arms up, straight up from your shoulders if you're not sitting on your hands. And then one level deeper, we're going to bring the right arm, left leg toward the floor. Maybe your right thumb might touch lightly, but the left heel hovers. And then raise them back up to their starting positions. And then switch. So go all the way down and all the way up before you switch sides. Alternating right arm and left leg. And then left arm and right leg. Finish up with your left arm and right leg next time you go there. Hold dead bug, as it's often called, with the legs and arms lifted. Bring your hands together, palms face toward your legs, and hook your two thumbs together. Now open your legs wide as they can go out to the sides, like we were in Upavista Konasana. Lift your head and shoulders up and pulse through your legs. Reach between your legs with your thumbs hooked. Pull your hands apart and pulse, pulse, pulse. Keep going. Breathing. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Boom. Draw your knees down. Hug your knees back into your chest and hold on. So we have one more back bend to explore, and that is the bridge. But only if you know wheel would you want to go into wheel. If you're very familiar and happy and safe in that pose, go for it. I'm going to lead the bridge today. And starting with your arms down at your sides, bend your knees, walk your feet in so they're close to your hips. You're going to be standing on them in a moment. Lift one shoulder at a time and walk it onto your back closer into the midline. Push into your shoulders, press your head back, chin stays up as your hips come up. Walk your hands closer, maybe try interlacing behind your back. If you do interlace, walk one shoulder under deeper and the other. Soften the groin so you create low back curve, and then aim your tailbone toward your heels to lengthen that low back curve. Push into your legs to lift your hips up higher without thrusting the groins forward. Keep the front of the groin soft, scoop the tail, and push into your legs, your arms, the back of your head to lift your heart up even higher. Few more breaths here. You can come down sooner if you need to. Make sure the chin stays aiming up to the ceiling. Release your hands. Roll down your back. Bring the soles of your feet together and knees apart. And turn your palms face up at your sides. Take a few resting breaths here in reclined or supine bound angle pose. Open and receptive to love. Open and receptive to prema. Aham prema. I am that. Raise your knees up together and let your knees touch lightly as you walk your feet apart. So find a gentle way to rest your knees in. Have your feet a comfortable distance apart. And here your sacrum now flattens into the floor. It releases into the floor. Release your legs and straighten them out on the floor, making your adjustments to Savasana. So here you might want to adjust and add on some socks, some layers, any props that you want to use. And as much as you efforted today, try to relax that much. Paying as much attention to the release as you did to the work. So because we did a lot of back bends today, it's good. The same action that we did when we're on our bellies, pointing the toes in, to get that action here when you're on your back, you would just very easily lift one leg an inch or two up away from the floor, spin your inner thigh down. You can even use your hand to widen the buttock and thigh flesh out to the side and lower that leg. It doesn't have to be, it's a quick movement. You kind of lift up, spin the inner thigh down, widen and lower down. And that creates this space at the sacrum again. So things don't feel like they're getting crunched. Adjust your arms, walking one shoulder under your back and the other shoulder under your back. That'll also help turn your palms more up when your shoulders are nestled on your back properly. Close your eyes when you're ready to get there. And just one deep breath in through the nose, out through your mouth. Feel a full release taking over the whole of your body, from your crown of your head down to the very tips of your toes. Feel this wave. So the tradition I believe in, which I believe is universal, is that love is actually the fuel of the universe. Love is the energy behind all life forms. And this love comes from this one consciousness. This love is this one consciousness that wants to know itself, that creates, just as we create in our own individual lives, this big force of life has created us, each of us individual as we are. So it can see itself in this myriad of ways. All the different people, all the different ways this consciousness can witness itself, to experience itself in ways it can't experience when it's not in a body, right? In spirit and all that oneness, it's not the same as the diversity of the planet Earth. Seeing yourself as that oneness personified. You are the Prema, Aham Prema. I am that. I am the highest vibrating love in this universe. That is the truth. Even if we cloak it, even if we hide it. Taking this another Rumi quote. The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. Soften and release. Give yourself fully open to that expansive part that you are. All of us have barriers to love. Otherwise, we'd be living in a very different existence. But we open the door of your heart, open to the possibility, not just intimate lovers, but lovers of life, lovers of humanity, lovers of nature, lovers of the mystery from which we come, from which we arise. Aham Prema. 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 Come back to awareness of your body resting here. If you need to rest longer, feel free to stay put or deepen your breath and wiggle fingers, toes, roll your head side to side, stretch your arms and legs when you're ready. If you're rising, you might want to roll to one side and take a breath or two of transition there. As you make your way back to seated, if you're headed there, just sit tall, close your eyes, roll your shoulders onto your back, and find your palms to meet heart center, Anjali Mudra once again. I'll leave you with one more Rumi quote, famous Sufi poet. Goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes, because those who love with heart and soul, there is no such thing as separation. Let us remember that and bow into your own vast heart space, our full potentiality. We acknowledge that in each other. Namaste. Thank you very much.